This show is brought to you by Databril, the scalable Amazon PPC management for large Amazon sellers and brands. Visit sellersessions.com/agency for more details. Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today I bring in Chris Rawlings from Judo Launch. How you doing, Chris?
Good, dude. I'm doing awesome. How are you?
Yeah, good. Do you want to give a little bit of background on yourself, please?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. My basic story is started as a scientist, morphed myself into a businessman. I was working as an electrical engineer for a while and then started doing business in the solar industry. But then after working at a desk in one spot day after day and like wanting to blow my brains out, I started an online spinal health brand.
Yeah.
So it was posture improvement products, stuff like that. And it just did way better than I ever expected. You know, it started as kind of a side hustle, but then just exploded, became like a 7-figure a year business. And I just left my job and started traveling the world. And then I grew that business to different countries. Thank God I did, because the US market got insanely competitive and our margins got crushed, but that's a story for a different day. And then, you know, outside the US markets became, you know, one of the main channels for my brand. So that realization kind of inspired me to start Judo Launch.
Yeah.
And Judo Launch's whole thesis is helping brands, specifically Amazon-based brands, expand to new markets and launch really quickly in new Amazon markets. So
sounds good.
Yeah, that's a short version of how I got here.
So today, I haven't really kind of covered this on the show, but we're going to be talking about building lists and leveraging lists. I find that it's not always easy to articulate to people the right way to go about building lists and whether you should bother doing them, whether you're at that stage to do so. You know, if you've only got a handful of products, how can you leverage that list, that kind of thing. So I thought it'd be good to get your insights as you've built lists on your existing business and obviously in relation to Judo Launch. So I suppose the first question, do you want to kind of walk me through how you would look at building a list from scratch if you're a seller?
Yeah, totally, dude. Yeah, I know. I knew you want to jump right into it. We talked before this, and I love your no bullshit approach. I think for an e-commerce brand, many brands don't recognize like the value of a list because of the fact that it's something that's more like B2B focused, where we're all kind of B2C focused, CTA, like you said, that marketing scientist inside us. But it's hugely valuable. And it's really easy to start. Like you can start from where you already are. So if you're a seller and you're selling products, you have all these touch points with the customer already. You have them receiving your product and physically handling it. There's one touch point. So how do you take advantage of that? You can add an insert, which I do with my own brand, into the product that's hidden, you know, in the product packaging that gives the customer some incentive to go to your URL and add their name to a list. You know, that could be some percentage off of a future purchase that they make, or that could be, you know, just their registering for their warranty or registering their product, the code of their product, some incentive. And that will likely convert you somewhere between 3 and 10%, depending on how compelling your offer is. And that might sound low. Like for me, ours was like between 3 and 4%. Which might sound low, you know, out of 100 products that get sent out, you get 3 to 4 email addresses from that. But that adds up, and it's a constant flow that you just never think about ever again. It just automatically happens, you know, forever for the life of your business. So It's still totally worth it. Like, why would you not do it? In my mind, it takes no ongoing effort at all. And the other touch point is like for, you know, some portion of sellers focus on this, others don't. But if you are focusing on traffic to your email or to your e-commerce site, your own site, your Shopify site, WooCommerce site, whatever, you can get subscribers from that in 2 basic ways. The one is you have the sign up in the footer at the bottom of your content pages there. Yeah. So say you're selling like eyewear and you have articles about dry eye, and that's what attracts the traffic to your page. At the footer, then you're like, if you want, you know, to learn more about this or get 15% off your first order by putting your email address here, that's a great way to capture email addresses there. Yeah. And then of course there's the pop-up. You know, as soon as their mouse goes up into the X of like, leaving your page, the pop-up comes up and it says, again, some kind of value, 15% off your first order, or, get new news about dry eye as soon as it comes out. And you'd be surprised. People really care. Even if your product seems boring, like dry eye, these people are buying the product to solve their problem. So they definitely care about it.
Yeah.
Again, that'll probably convert you somewhere 3 to 5%, which again sounds low, but if you think of all the visitors to your site and it's just a constant flow, once you implement it, it's automatic. So yeah.
Makes sense. So let's dial that back. I just want to take it back a few steps. We covered quite a lot of ground there. Let's just break that out a bit. So at the very beginning, a little disclaimer. What you're saying, we're doing when you hide it in your packaging, we're being a little bit cheeky. So it's your tolerance for risk. Yeah. So we know
it's true.
We know we can do
that's in the gray area.
Yeah, we know we can do like the warranty thing. One of the things I've been experimenting at the moment, because I do the whole warranty thing with the insert, and yes, we'll go to the website, but I don't do the incentive. Some people do like a 3+ shipping and massive discount, and it depends how you bury the stuff. One thing I looked at with inserts as well, if you're doing stuff like bottles, using a swing tag. So if you've got
what's a swing tag?
Like a swing tag could be like a label that's got almost like a chain on it that sits around the top of the bottleneck, for instance.
Oh yeah.
When they bring it out of the box, it's always going to be there because obviously, I do tests where I'm looking at all the different people's inserts. So I looked at other options like, well, how can you get that to sit on top of a box, and how can you might have a piece of card that sits over the top of the bottle lid, which is
that I've seen.
Yeah.
You
probably see them on bottles like for supplements and things like that. But really, the key thing, like you're talking about, like the percentages can be really small here in terms of the conversion rate. One, if they're hidden, they could be quite small. But it's down to the volumes. It goes down to these people that if you've got 50, 60 SKUs and you're selling a few hundred units a day, that list starts to build, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it starts to become really beneficial. But if you've got 1 or 2 SKUs, it's a different story. You're not going to get that kind of volume. So I like the idea, like you said, you're sending people to the websites. You've got the pop-ups and the pop-under. I mean, we had them on seller sessions, like when people visit the sites, if it's the first time they visited, they get 3 spreadsheets that they can download to help run their business, to sign up. And obviously they can opt out at any time. So that's a way that we steady grow the audience when we have people visiting our website and the content that we produce, because we're doing 3 shows a week. Each piece of content is...
Holy shit.
Yeah, so we're doing 3,000 words a week, roughly, because each episode is written up, even though the episode's like 20, 30 minutes long. But that's how we've grown our SEO traffic. And once we've grown the traffic and people visit the sites, we can capture them to provide more information to them by giving them away like the free spreadsheets. One's for PPC, one's for chargebacks from Amazon, and I think the other one is for managing the P&L of for your Amazon business. So like you said, you've got to cram in the value there.
Yeah, dude, exactly. I did the same thing. I mean, because we have very living parallel lives, kind of, Danny.
Yeah.
And we talk about this when we meet up. But so it's the same here. So I have judo, and then I have my brand. Yeah. And there's so many synergies there. Most of what I learned about growing a list and utilizing a list came from judo, and then I implemented that into the brand after. Which is kind of the reverse of what I expected, because the brand was my first company.
Yeah.
So, and we do the same thing. So if you want to really step it up, and like you said, it's smaller numbers daily here and there that add up, but you can step it up significantly if you actually, those are like the hands-off approaches.
Yeah.
You design this insert, or you implement this, Shopify extension or whatever, and then you forget about it forever.
Yeah.
But if you put just a little bit of energy into it, you can create some content and drive paid traffic to it, and just collect emails regularly through Facebook ads. And eventually you're going to find out what an email is worth to you. And it might be a lot more than you expect.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this that we started to discuss, or before, when it was just you and me, that this builds on itself, because there's so many things you can do once you have the list to make it grow itself. Once you have it, you can have the people who are on your list refer their friends to the list, by incentivizing them to do that. Yeah. Or my favorite thing is once you have even a small list, like once you have like 1,000 or a couple thousand, you can start to do BD, which is always my favorite thing. I love business development. I love like making partnerships and stuff like that. It's just fun to me. But like I said, I mean, it's kind of a hole in e-commerce because we're all like data freaks and we're B2C. But if you find some kind of company that has like a similar audience to yours, like the example of nerve pain supplement. If you're selling nerve pain supplements and you know a company that's selling nerve pain braces or hand braces for people with nerve pain, you can do a joint content piece together that's very simple. Just mush a blog article you've done with one of theirs, make it a co-created white paper with a nice little content, table of contents or whatever, and make a landing page, send it out to both of your audiences, and whoever signs up, you both get them added to your list. And that's essentially free. You didn't burn your list. You weren't asking anything of them. You were giving them value actually. Yeah. And you just grew it like without any paid traffic whatsoever.
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of crazy strategies you can do like that allow the list to kind of become its own beast to grow and grow.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing we've got to be aware of soon is where we need to update everything by May 28th, I think, is GDPR. So that's all coming, isn't it? That's that compliancy thing. So any of the strategies that you can do, from my understanding, you can still do these joint ventures, but you have to follow a bit of a guideline now. We've been investigating it now for Databrill, for the PPC automation agency, and there has to be a very clear distinction there. But there's still plenty of opportunity in terms of building lists. Now, another thing that I've seen people that do, I've not done this personally, but people have been experiencing, is when they're running like a competition. So, for instance, an example, say, for instance, you've got a new product that you're launching.
Yeah.
You may want to go and buy a load of your competitors' products, send them all to a landing page and do a giveaway. So they enter the competition. So then you build that list and say, we're going to pull out of the hat, the first 10 people will get X, whatever that is. And then once you've built that list, depending on how much there is of value there of that list in terms of volume, you can utilize that towards doing future launches of your own products, because then you can obviously go.
That's so interesting. You use your competitors' products for the giveaway.
Yeah, so you go, like, let's just say that you're on Amazon, you've got your spatulas, and your spatulas are coming, but you want to build a list. You can go and buy the best spatulas there, purchase them, full price, do everything that way, but then you could look at maybe running a competition, and it's basically to enter your chance to win. And so basically you can have, there could be like a financial thing. It could be Amazon gift cards. It's the second prize, but first prize is a batch of these spatulas, and the first 10 people pulled out the hat will get those. So then you build the list, and from that, and for those who didn't win, you can then still offer them a 90% off discount code when your product comes out. So that's another way of building a list. I haven't tried it. People have had success with it. And it's pretty straightforward. You're doing Facebook, ads with it, and I'm sure there's some plugins for landing pages on WordPress, for instance, that are able to enable that mechanism for running the competition.
Yeah, I've actually done this with Amazon giveaways, not with competitors' products. That's really interesting, but I've done it with my own products, and it's basically, and it was exactly what you said, but it's really interesting from a product launch perspective. I was literally just doing it just straight up to get the emails. Because, we know that that's super valuable to us. And we would just do a giveaway, 1 out of 60 people wins. You could set these up like right in Seller Central now. But like you said, you can do it with any product. It doesn't have to be your product.
Now, what I wanted to talk to you about as well, you've got an interesting one where we're talking about the B2B, but we can look at B2C here, where we join together. Let's just say you've already got the list. Talk more about the leveraging side.
Yeah. So, I think the main things when it comes to leveraging are you're either doing a partnership that allows you to grow your list, or you're doing a partnership that allows another service with the same customer persona to sell their service to your list and you to sell your service to their list.
Yeah.
And I mean, if anybody's listening, they are welcome to email me, chris@judolaunch.com. I can send out a sample contract that I created for
Yeah.
this myself if they're interested. And you create a landing page for that, which again takes about 20 minutes on Unbounce or HubSpot or, Lead Pages, any of those tools, that says, hey, get this white paper on how to reduce nerve pain in 3 days flat, or sign up for this webinar that's happening next week on the top 5 ways to reduce nerve pain naturally. Both you and the partner that you've made the agreement with, send it to your list, and whoever signs up, you both keep those people on your list. And you say it on the landing page that, like, by signing up for this, you are agreeing that both so-and-so and so-and-so can contact you. And the cool thing about that is you can also have a confirmation page that either upsells them or signs them up for something else, or allows them to book, a call with you for you to sell whatever else you sell, if it's education or services or whatever, if you're into that. There are all kinds of things you could do with this. But in general, you're swapping lists.
So what does the outreach look like? Is it like going after an influencer? You could contact some people on YouTube, for instance. Find someone in your market.
In this case, that is the thing. That's definitely a thing. But in this case, what I'm talking about is another brand.
Yeah.
Another brand that also sells something. Yeah. So the influencer, that's totally a thing. And you can create an affiliate deal with an influencer and have them send it out to their audience and they get a cut of sales. That's basically what their business model probably is already. Like I said, this is one of those things that just kind of builds on itself. Like the more you do it, if you just put some energy into it, the better it gets. And the cool thing is, like, we didn't even talk about what to do with the list, but it's really like infinite. Like everyone always thinks about selling to their list. And obviously, yes, you can do that. But you can also do all kinds of other things with your list that, while not directly generating revenue for you, generate value for the business. Like the example that you told me when we were talking offline about getting feedback on your product. You can get feedback not only on your existing products and what kind of new features to implement or whatnot, but you can get feedback on what products they want. So if you're thinking about launching and you're like, I don't know about which product to launch out of these 5 products, you could send out a little poll. Be like, hey guys, what's most interesting to you? This, or this. And people actually like to be involved. If your brand has some kind of character, like people like that. They actually like that they have an influence on what you're doing.
Yeah. So, I mean, so to address with the audience, just to give them a bit of background as we're on subject, what I was talking about was, so when I'm doing launches, I've got a load of email addresses that I've generated from distributing the coupon codes. And the test I've done before, I've tried to market to the list, but the open rates to say in the UK were really poor. They're used to the whole coupon code thing. And then I thought, right, I'll give it another go. So I used a program for mail merging in Google. Yeah. So this mail merge, just another mail merge, I think it's called. It's $24.
I use that too.
Yeah, $24 a year or something. You can send up to 400 mails a day. And so what I did, I used that, combined that with Streak CRM, which is free, which plugs into Google as well. And then you add like your canned response templates. So you type that in, and basically I asked 3 main questions. How did you get on with the coupon code? Did you have any problems with it? Are you enjoying your experience with the product? And I've done that just recently in Germany, Italy, and the results were phenomenal. Like in Italy, I got 58 responses with a 37% open rate. And in Germany, 18 responses with a 66% open rate. But I couldn't get no love in the UK when I offered doing the same product with the same methods. But what I learned from this is that we had a problem with the product. There's an issue with it, which is called off-gassing. And it wasn't globally, but some in Italy, some in Germany were having these problems. And so we were able to address that. So the good thing was, because there were 90% discount codes, there was no way of them leaving a review, because Amazon has stopped that now, right? But what they'd done was it allowed me to find out from these customers what the problem was, able to do like a remove order and send them a new one without any problems and thank them, etc. And it also allowed us to address this with the factory. So once the real sales starts to take over in terms of organic sales purchased at full price, we were in recovery mode. We could deal with it because we send our products in on velocity. So we always make sure there's just in time stock rather than the whole lot. So we're able to address everything with the off-gassing, pull out any of the negative units, deal with the factory, and any of the stuff on stock on hand that was sold through, that was on the discount code, we didn't get any issues with the reviews. So it's one way of utilizing those kind of email addresses. Like you said, you want to be able to utilize them again. I've always found that you've got to weigh off your time value against using and trying to message these people that are used to have 90% off. But we found a method of use, which is check that your product is working and there's no issues before the full sales kick in.
Yeah. And dude, I mean, like you said, so there's a difference between customers who are used to getting that 90% off. You can call them spoiled or whatever, versus customers that paid full price that you got from your product inserts or other channels. But there's so many other ways to use that too. Like that was great that you were able to capture that, and you have such short lead time, which I'm very jealous of, with the just-in-time shipping, which is awesome. You got to tell me about that offline at some point. But another thing you can do is use these people for marketing. Like what we've done is gotten them to give us video testimonials. And that's so, if you follow like the kind of Ezra Firestone, type of marketing, and are trying any of those Facebook marketing tactics, video testimonials are great for retargeting. If somebody visits your site, they add something to their cart, but then they don't check out, you can hit them with video testimonials. And that is the highest leverage way to get them back to your website and make the purchase, that I know of. So, I mean, and you can generate these easily by if you have a list, but if you don't, you're just floundering. Like you don't have a customer ecosystem. Once you do, you realize, holy shit, how did I never have this before? But once you do, you're like, anytime you think of anything, any creative, cool idea for you to do with your brand, you're like, oh, boom, I'll just get that from my list. Video testimonial, quotes, text testimonials, whatever. You can have them start generating content for you. You'd be like, tell me your story, and then feature it as an article, and then boom, like you just got a free blog article. It's like there's just unlimited ways for you to utilize this that add value to the business.
Yeah, I think what it is the hardest point is that most people that you would speak to that build lists tend to fail unless you've tried to do it multiple times and find different ways. I think one of the most difficult things you can achieve to do is to build a list. But once you know what works for your audience and you've been through all those test mechanisms to find out what works for you, like the light bulb comes on. Do you know what I mean? I think you have to be patient. So when someone says, right, do this method and you'll build like your list, 5,000 people in 2 days. And guess what? We do it for like 2 cents, per acquisition. Most of that is bullshit. It's elbow grease, isn't it? It's about trust, and it's about building over time. So like we were discussing earlier on in the show, we might have incremental growth where you can have a set and forget. You can do your lead magnet and they will grow 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 signups per day. But then you look at that at the end of the year. Yeah, hands off. And then you have the more aggressive approaches where you could do the competitions like we discussed, or you can use like Facebook ads, or we can use the method like we do with the discount codes. Maybe some of the people that are with 50% off will be more than likely to buy your product at a higher rate than the people that were buying at 90% off. But the 90% off people were there purely for a ranking mechanism, aren't they?
Yeah, and that's true. But I mean, even to use your example, even if you did this super easy, hands-off, no effort approach, and we're just getting 6 emails a day, then by the end of a year, you've already got a couple thousand to work with.
The other thing we haven't discussed is like the product type as well. Some products are not desirable enough to build a list upon, isn't it? So if you've got men's bum cream or something, there's not going to be a load of people that want to do public testimonials and videos, will there? Yeah. You have to choose your niches wisely.
Yeah, is that a thing? I really need to get some of that. Sounds good. Sounds soothing.
Yeah, sounds soothing. Right. Okay. Anything you want to add before we kind of wrap up?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the point where I need to say that Judo Launch has the ability to shortcut this. If there's somebody listening that wants to build a list really quickly and they are used to doing launches or they want to do launches, we now have an add-on that's not live on our website because it's in beta. It's called List Boom. where you can keep the email addresses from your launch. So when you do a launch through us, you keep the email addresses. You don't get all of them because it's only people that actually opt in. So you get, but you guarantee over 50%.
So what's your email address, how do they reach you, etc.?
Just chris@judolaunch.com.
Excellent. Sounds good. Chris, thank you again for coming in today. Guys, thank you for joining us. If this is your first time, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We'll see you again soon. Take care.